So before we start, right? Just now I already played the offer the incense stick. So let's rise all together. So let's three bow to Buddha says and sages. First bow, second bow, third bow, one bow to great sage Bai Shui, one bow to Bodhisattva. Push your seat. Now we will reading the motto of 发一崇德. Success in year 2021. Earnestly strive for greatness heights. Be merciful, compassionate, joyous, and charitable. United as one, showing a most sincerity in unifications. Working towards an excellent standard. The more we learn about Tao, the more harmonious we will be. The more we cultivate Tao, the more joyous we will become. The more we speak about Tao, the closer we will get to nature's principle. The more we propagate Tao, the better we will realize the true situation. The more we practice Tao, the better we will attain the middle path. We must be grateful to heaven's grace, merciless virtues. Be grateful to our senior reverend elder and reverend elder. Be grateful to the Tao community and each and everyone. I must treasure this day. Be grateful by knowing, feeling, and repaying the blessing received. Establish virtues, merits, and words of wisdom. Undertaken and fulfill our vows, devote to loyalty and filial piety. Let us proceed to 15 Buddha disciplines. First, respect saints and Buddhas. Second, respect seniors and guide juniors. Third, be restrained, dignified, and righteous. Fourth, follow rules and conventions. Fifth, accept responsibility. Sixth, emphasize the divine over the mandate. Seven, be humble, respectful, and courteous. Eight, do not discharge only the scriptures. 9. Do not be obsessed with appearance. 10. Keep all procedures transparent. 11. Departing and returning. 12. Do not disrupt the system. 13. Cherish public property. 14. Be lively in handling affairs. 15. Be cautious in words and actions. Thank you, everyone. Please have a seat. Very honored that today we are able to invite today very honored we able to invite Tao initiator on today. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, Tao initiator Ong is one of a very famous bilingual speaker in Singapore. Actually, most of the sermon and class when I attend in Singapore, right, mostly I can hear her speech either in English or Chinese. Yeah, and the most important is even though she's a Tao initiator, but she's very friendly and kind. Yeah, you can see there's always a smile on her face. Yeah, so everyone will like want to get close with her. Yeah, so today one thing is some seniors share with me is she's how to say Wonder Woman. She's take care of the family also and take care of the temple at the same time. So this one maybe most of the women we can learn from her. Yeah, so today very honored she will share with us the topic of cultivating the vastness of mind and inner virtue. So I think it's very suitable. She share with us this topic, and everyone please pay attention to her lesson. So after this, we will have a discussion. Thank you. Initiator on, you can try to share your PPT. lastly, I will invite our initiator on. So everyone, number 1, please stand up. Number 2, good evening, our initiator on.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening to our lecturer in charge of this. This is not Tamil class actually. It's our English speaking class. With our India's participant here. I am very appreciative because to be given the chance to actually have this opportunity to actually get to know you, and at the same time to share of my knowledge. I wouldn't say I have to be very thankful to the lecturer's introduction. I'm not that a Wonder Woman, but I would say most of the ladies in the town communities are basically Wonder Woman because they have to take care of the family as well as get themselves continue to practice and learn, in the town society. So first of all, I want to express my gratitude towards our heavenly grace, and then the great virtues of our Grandmaster, our Holy Master, as well as our Lady Master, and the great compassion of our Lao Children and Children. I suppose all of you know who I'm referring to because we always refer to our Reverend Senior Elder and our Reverend Elder as Lao Children. It's easier for us to relate with him. So today I'm trying to share on this topic on cultivating the vastness of mind and inner virtues. And this is particularly very important because as a cultivator, we represent the society as well. Therefore, our action, our speech actually carries a lot of weight because whether people want to come, to listen, to share, and to learn from the town society, we are like the PR. We are like people view us differently if they know that you're cultivating. Therefore, any things that we do, they will look at us, like the spotlight, will always be on us because we call ourselves cultivator. So we are representing our entire town society. Therefore, this vastness of mind and inner virtues, we all, is one of the very fundamental things that I think as a town cultivator, we have to make sure that, we put in effort in this area. Okay, so there's a saying that you see this cyclical nature of reincarnation, the birth, the death, the rebirth, is due to this continuation of the karma or the cause and effect that we created in our present life, and then it goes on and on. Okay, so every day we work very endlessly, we either use it up, our karmic merits, or repay our karmic debts, you see. But today we are very lucky because we all have already received Tao, and we have this opportunity. If we cultivate properly, we can break this cycle of birth and death. Okay, we want to break the chain of that continuation. Okay, so in order to do that, we have to emulate the footstep of Buddha. Buddha, saints and sages, they have been coming in incarnating, into this world to help us understand that all of us has this Buddha nature. And if Buddha can actually attain the enlightenment and return back, to heaven, the same we can do it also. Because when they come, they have this physical form. And with this physical form, they are also showing us, you see, this cycle of birth and death, we are able to break it. If we can cultivate ourselves properly in this lifetime, we will be able to return back to heaven. So before we can actually talk about establishing that, affinity, to reach the Buddhahood, first of all, we have to establish the affinity with the people around us. Okay, so because as what Buddha has said, all of us has that Buddha nature. So therefore, all sentient beings, all sentient beings are Buddha themselves. It's just that we have forgotten, our Buddha nature. So therefore, in order to reach the Buddhahood, first, the people around us, if you treat them like as if they are also Buddha, then, have that good affinity with them. And hopefully all of us can return back together, to be able to be reunited with our heavenly grace as well. Okay, so how do we establish this affinity? Okay, we must start, first with cultivating the vastness of mind and the inner virtues. Okay, so what do you mean by the vastness of the mind? It's the capacity of the heart or the mind to accommodate another viewpoint without having smugness about one's own. Yeah, sometimes there are different views, and especially today as a cultivator, especially when we are attending meetings, together with our fellow Tao brothers and sisters, there are always, different viewpoints that we have learned to accept and accommodate, and learn to have that open mind, to accept that things can be perceived in a different manner. It doesn't always mean that we are right. So sometimes, when we are presented with a different view, we have to accept it, and we have to, accommodate, that viewpoint wholeheartedly. And the giving of one's self or resources with no thought of recognition or reward. And this is particularly important because we have seen that, in our Lao Qianren and Qianren, in our holy teacher, our, grandmasters, they have been doing a lot, especially in our holy teacher. I have been to China to actually visit the descendant of our holy teacher, and from according to them, they told us, you see, when our holy teacher was still around, when he was propagating the Tao, he literally uses up, all the assets that he has, including, selling the lands that they have, in place, in order to continue with this propagation of the Tao, because during that period, it was very chaotic. So therefore, in order to accommodate, to all these fellow Tao brothers, a lot of resources comes from him, and it has been used up. So you see, they are giving without, asking for anything in return. Basically, their goal is to ensure that, we can return back to heaven. There is a very, very great aspiration, you see, that we have to learn. And forgiving wrongs done to us with no thoughts of retaliation or recrimination. In other words, we have to forget the indignities and bear no grudges. Let me actually share a story of, this is definitely something that is true, that is happening. In our temple, we have got one Tao sisters. Now, when she got married to this husband, and we all know, you see, the affinity we have with a particular person, and to end up as a husband and wife, it has already been, created in the past. And in this life, you just have to, complete this affinity with them. So when she married this husband, it's kind of every time, she get all those kind of verbal abuse, from her husband, which is very common, after she got married. And when someone actually inducted and introduced Tao to her, after receiving Tao, she understands that, okay, that affinity that she has with her husband is something that has been created. And in order to terminate, to make sure there is no continuation of this negative karma that was created previously, what happened was, she has been very forgiving in whatever her husband did to her. You can imagine that when she comes to the temple, just to come to the temple, to pray during the 1st and the 15th of the lunar month. And when she goes back, sometimes the husband would just, when she took off her, that white shirts that she used, to go to the temple, her husband would use the scissors to cut, to cut up that piece of the shirt and threw it, down into the dustbin. And she take all this, without any retaliation, And then there will be days when she returned home from temple, her husband will shut, will change the padlock, so that she cannot get back into the house. And then, you know, she will end up, you know, staying outside, probably just sit outside her door, you know, and stay overnight until the next morning when the children come out, you know, of the house. So these are the things that has been happening, but she accepts it because she wants to harmonize, you know, this relationship, you know. She do not want it to, you know, carry over to her next life. Okay, so once when she decided to take the vegetarian vow, and the husband came to know about it, what happened was, after taking the vow, when she returned back home, her husband actually standbys, you know, the chicken thigh, you know, and literally stuff it into her mouth. And she takes all this, you know, with a very calm mind. So we really salute her. So some days, you know, when we met up with her, there were stalls, you know, downstairs selling vegetarian food. We actually have meals with her. And when the husband came down and saw us, you know, having a meal with her, he just came by, you know, and then just took the plate of the food that the wife is having and spat it into the food, you know. Can you imagine, with his saliva, you know? But the wife continued eating without, you know, retaliating. So one day, the husband insists on, you know, having a divorce with her, because apparently he met up with another woman, and he loves this woman so much. He says that this woman wanted very much to stay with him, so he needs to buy a house with this woman. So he came back and demand, you know, the wife divorced, you know, to have a divorce so that they can actually split up, you know, sell the ceremonial home, and each person has 50%, you know, of the proceeds of the sales of the house. So of course, the wife actually begged the husband, you know, not to sell the house because they have 2 very young children. But the husband was very determined, you know. So, okay, no choice, no. And they went together to the lawyer office to sign the paper. And can you imagine? That's how great, you know. That's what I can actually see, you know, in a person who is cultivating, you know. She came back and she told me, you know, sister, because at the time I haven't received the mandate of being an initiator. And then she came back, she told me, today I went to the lawyer office to sign the divorce paper. And then, you know, when I walk out with my husband, I asked him, if one day this girlfriend, you know, leave you, will you come back to me? Her husband look at her and say, even if I have to die one day, I wouldn't even want to see you, you know. So that's what he said. Okay, so okay, no choice. These fellow sisters went on, you know, to take her 2 children and went to actually apply for a rental flat, and then, you know, started to move on with her life. And that was after that. Gradually, the children grow up. Both kids actually grow up, and were very successful in their career. So what happened was, to the husband is he was cheated of his money, you know, by his girlfriend, and he ended up carrying a paper bag with his clothing and going, you know, without a home. Sometimes going to this relative house for a few days and staying into the relative house for a few days. But here, our Tao sisters, you know, because the children grown up, her life, you know, becomes much better, and her children was very filial to her. Especially one of her daughter was also very actively participating in our Tao propagation, and is very active in our Tao society. So this daughter was very filial towards the father also. And then she will always go and see the father, because she understands that the relationship between the father and the child, the bond, you can't deny the fact, deny this relationship, even though, you know, both parents may not be together, but that blood relationship between the father and the child, you know, you can't just brush it off and say that, okay, I don't have a father like that. And because she was in the Tao society, she understands that, you know, it is her responsibility to be filial towards the father. Therefore, she will constantly went to, you know, look out for the father, and she will bring her father out for meals, you know, and take care of her father's well-being. So one day, because they bought a house and they were staying, the daughter actually pleaded with the mother, can you please let our father come and stay with us? Because he don't have a house. You know, he has been wandering around and, you know, putting up with relatives, you know, so it's very poor thing. So, you know, our fellow Tao sister, she has such a great heart, you know. Although, you know, what the husband has done to her in the past, she decided that, okay, like, you know, this is what my children want. She decided to forgive him. And therefore, she let her husband come back. Although now their status is different, it's no longer husband and wife because of the divorce. But she understands the fact that this man is still the father to her 2 children. So this is the way, you know, that when I look at this, forgiving the wrongs that, you know, has been done to us without the thought of retaliation and recrimination. And this is not just one case. There were just quite a number of cases. There was from our Tao society, and that's how great it is. Therefore, why I stay in the Tao society, I've received Tao in 1984, and I continue to be in the Tao society because I find that it really, really benefits, you know, people who actually receive Tao and understand all these facts. Their burden, their suffering, their mental suffering has been lightened in many ways. Because if it were to happen to someone who has not rediscovered this true nature of being able to handle all this, then, you know, they will go into deep depression and there will be a lot of fighting. And, you know, we do not know what will happen to this family. But today, from what I see in this family, this is, you know, actually a proof and evidence that, you know, Tao itself, if the understanding of Tao and the true nature can help, you know, to harmonize, you know, relationship, harmonize the home and harmonize the society. So that's why you say, in other words, we have to forget the indignities, you know, that we have suffered before and bear no grudges. So ultimately, the husband has to respect her very much for what she has done, you see. So this vastness of mind, because, you know, if you can open up that heart, you know, if we have got that vastness in our heart, you know, there is no boundaries. We can actually, we are, you know, we have to emulate our grandmaster. You know, people used to say that he's a loving Buddha, you know, with a big stomach. You know, he's here to show us that we have to follow him, you know, emulate his, you know, big-heartedness. So then about the cultivating of the inner virtues is to learn and understand about, you know, our true nature, okay? To cultivate our true nature so as to live in a dignified and respectful manner. So what comes with our true nature is that 5 constant virtues. The 5 constant virtues is benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, trustworthiness. These are the 5, you know, constant virtues that comes with our true nature. When we were born with a physical body, you know, heaven actually gives us that soul, and that soul itself, you know, is Tao itself. So when sometimes, you know, people ask me, you know, what is Tao? You know, because they will always associate, you know, Tao with a religion as like Taoism. But Tao itself is what I used to explain, you know, to people who does not have an idea what Tao is. I say Tao enables life. Okay. Now without Tao, then we won't be able to survive. Just look at us. Tao in human is our soul. You cannot see it, it's not visible to the eyes. But if we do not have the soul, we will not be able to survive. Now, 2 persons lying on the ground, the one that can get up, you know, has got Tao in it because that soul is still there. But soul is not visible to your eyes. How would you know? It's because that person can get up, and we know that the soul is still there because the soul is like a driver in the car. He's the one who steers, you know, this body. Okay, so Tao itself in us, you know, it manifests, you know, through this soul, and bestow upon our soul is that 5 constant virtues that we all have it. benevolence. Therefore, we always say that, you know, the 5 major religions, each one emphasize a part of these virtues. Okay, we talk about Buddhism, the emphasis is on mercifulness, you know, being compassionate. Don't we all have this mercifulness? Our very first virtues, benevolence, is about compassion. Then, of course, in Christianity, the emphasis is on love. You know, we have to have that great love, you know, for all human. And, you know, we talk about in Confucianism, is about forgiveness. And in Muslim itself, they put a lot of emphasis on purity, on propriety, okay? And then, of course, you have got Taoism that put the emphasis on going, you know, according to the nature's way. So we do not go against we do not go against the mother nature, you know. So all this, if we actually put them together, is equivalent to a person's these 5 constant virtues. Okay, if we can do one part of it correctly and properly, the other 4 will come along. Okay, so when we cultivate this true nature, then we can live in a very dignified, respectful manner. Because nowadays, especially when we talk about these 5 constant virtues, the one that has been very lacking now, I would say, is propriety. Propriety is that kind of respect for people, you know, the respect for each other. But because, you know, people these days, you know, has access, you know, to the internet world, and therefore the social media has led us, you know, to actually forget about, you know, what our true nature is. You see, so people can actually go onto the Facebook, whether it's what they are saying is going to affect, you know, or cause any disturbance to people or not. They do not care. As long as I post something, whether it's true or not, whether it's going to hurt someone or not, it's not of my concern. Therefore, they do not respect, you know, each other's the privacy, the space, you know, and therefore we have created a lot of social problem as well. Okay, so if we can, you know, properly cultivate these inner true virtues, you know, it will allow us to better understand the teaching of Buddha, and then from there we can actually positively influence others around us. So it's very important. So today, when we talk about the vastness and the inner virtues, we are talking about, you know, what a cultivator should actually look into, because all this is within ourselves and we can actually do it. So how do we achieve that? How do we actually cultivate this vastness of mind? You see, today when we receive Tao, we are not going to something that that is unknown to us, you see, or going into a new religion to understand something new. We're just rediscovering that true nature, you know, that ability that is within us, and that something that we can actually do, you know, it's just rediscovering that you know, the ability within us, and not going to do or going to, you know, into a Tao society to learn something new, to learn, you know, a new teaching. This is something that we already have, but we have forgotten about it. Okay. So today we are looking into how do we achieve it, you see. So first of all, we must have, you know, we must have that high and vast aspiration. We set that goal, you know, to actually learn how to rectify, you know, or use our true nature to guide us in our this lifetime, to help us, you know, to return back, you know, to where we are supposed to be. Okay, so you see, the accomplishment of saints and sages is motivated by their aspiration to help all sentient beings. Okay, but we want to follow the footsteps of Buddha, saints, and sages, you know, to help the sentient beings. But before we can help the others, first we have to look back to ourselves. If we can help, you know, to restore our own true nature, then we are able to help. But in order to do that, there are, of course, along the way during this journey, there are just many challenges that we have to face. Okay, so we talk about the sentient beings, you know, especially if we are at home. We always say that even our Lao Chianren, put the emphasis to us. Cultivation starts from your home. So each day when we wake up, we are faced with many sentient beings within our family. And these are the sentient beings that they will not actually put a shield, when we go out to meet the outside world, the people, they may still, put a shield and can't see their true nature, their true self. But within our family, I think our children will never have to actually hide their unhappiness, hide their temperament, they are themselves, they are at ease with themselves. And therefore, that is where, our cultivation starts. You see, how to, be able to instill in them the righteousness, but at the same time, give them the space, to do it. So these are all cultivation. So we only with this great aspiration, it will give us the strength to overcome these many challenges that we will face in this journey in a steadfast manner. Because if we know that we are entering into this tunnel of darkness, and at the end of the tunnel, there are lights, then we will continue, even how difficult this journey is. So therefore, setting a high and vast aspiration is very important. And of course, we have to put off, this worldly defilement. In other words, we have to subdue this the craving mind, that comes from, our sixth sense, the organs, our eye, the perception, we see the sight, the sound, the smell, the taste, the touch. We must be able to detach, If we use our eyes, we see, and then we, actually perceive it, to be true. So we will have the attachment to all things, that we may not be able to take with us. Therefore, it's indirectly telling us that we have to learn how to be contented with whatever that we have, so that, that we can control that craving mind, the greed for things, the hatreds, that we have, for others, for any wrongdoings. So all these are the things that, because if we understand that things are very impermanent, okay, or even there is a problem that is cropping up, we know that it's only temporary. It will get over soon. Therefore, with this kind of mindset, then we will not, get into a lot of frustration, unnecessary worries and frustration that will actually clogs our mind, and make us not able to think or do things, in the right manner. Then, of course, we must have this space-like vastness of mind. Open up our heart, relax that the obstinate thoughts that bind us, bind you, and use your wisdom to accept and accommodate the misgiving of others. So just like what I have shared with you just now with, our particular Tao sisters, who, able to understand, all this, and then, learn to accommodate, and this is how she deal with it. Therefore, by accepting it and understanding that, okay, this is perhaps, the affinity that she has created in the past, and therefore in this lifetime she needs to actually harmonize out this affinity, and by accepting it, and then without retaliation, therefore at the end, the result becomes a positive one. Okay. So it's only with this very vastness of the mindset. I used to get a complaint from my sister-in-law, you see, about her daughter-in-law. So she would complain. You see, even one clothing also, I have to wash for her. So one day I asked her, I say, oh, sister-in-law, okay, you have been complaining about your daughter-in-law with that one clothing that you have to wash for her. So I asked, can I ask you, how do you wash that piece of clothing of your daughter-in-law? I dump them into the washing machine. I say, oh, so only washing machine, you don't use your hand to wash. And then I asked her again, what about Yiling, that means her daughter? She wash her own clothing? No, I have to wash it for her also. So I say, yeah. So I told her, I say, you have been very unhappy and upset over your daughter-in-law. because you never treat her as your daughter. When we treat, I say, when you treat her as your daughter, you are able to do it wholeheartedly without any complaint or unhappiness. Okay, so this unhappiness is always, you know, we created it. So this is the cause. And the effect is we are upset. So I say you have to be very thankful that this woman, you know, wanted to marry your son, because we can't be with our son for the rest of our life. One day we have to leave him, and you have to be very grateful, because in future, she is the one who's going to take care of him. So I say, okay, when your own daughter, you wash for her, you're very happy to do it. But your daughter-in-law, similarly, she has to work. And one set of clothing for you to put into the washing machine, you get yourself so upset. So when I say that, she suddenly, you know, kind of think about it. And after that, she learned how to, you know, open up her heart. Is to accept, so that that's what we say, that we have to relax that obstinate talk. Because why? We tend to treat other people's child as not our children. But even though when they already married into this family as your daughter-in-law, we still treat them as a separate person, you know, from another family. Therefore, these are the things that, you know, we did not open up the heart to wholeheartedly accept. And therefore, we create a lot of unhappiness for ourselves. So the space-like vastness of the mind is very important, especially as a cultivator. Then the uncaused, you know, sacrification and dedication is to give without seeking even the slightest benefit for oneself, and to do things that benefit all living things, you know, and to elevate their sufferings. Look at a holy teacher. In his past life, he has been, everybody call him the crazy monk, but he's not crazy, you know, because he always tells us, when the sentient being, you know, is in the sea of the suffering, and they are already in their dreamland, if I do not go in to reach out to them, they will not be elevated. So you see, even our teacher has to bring himself, you know, to be with the sentient beings, you know, in order to reach out to them to save them. So these are the kind of sacrifices that, you know, we have to learn. Even when his lifetime, you know, as our holy teacher, he also, you know, really sacrificed his life, you know, in order to help the sentient beings to elevate us, you know, from this sea of suffering. So, you know, that selfless, we have to really emulate what our holy teacher has done. Even now, you know, he's the generations, you know, right down to his third generation, is still suffering, you know, because they were the descendant of our holy teacher. Because you know, during that time when, you know, they were suffering, they were taking the test, you know, the government were coming after them when they don't understand, you know, what is Tao, and they always associate us with some of those unorthodox, you know, sects. Therefore, our holy teachers and his family members, you know, actually suffers a lot, you know, just in order, you know, to actually, you know, be part of our holy teachers' family. They all has taken the vow of, you know, sacrificing their lives, you know, and dedicate their life in helping with the salvation of the three realms. Okay, and we also have to learn, you know, how to, you know, give generously, and always rejoice, you know, in all bodhisattvas as if they were the teacher. So no matter who we actually comes in contact, especially in the Tao society, in the temple, we get to meet, you know, different people. And of course, we all come from different family, different background. We have to accept, you know, as who they are. So sometimes my daughter used to ask me, because sometimes we have got meetings, you know, especially on Zoom online meeting, and therefore we have got people who come up with all kinds of different opinions, you know, during the meeting, and therefore sometimes, you know, it may go out of point and it may get very draggy. My daughter used to ask me, you know, Mom, I cannot imagine how you go through a meeting like that, you know. So I always have to tell her, you know, you see, everybody, we are all volunteers, you know, in the Tao society, you know. And this is one way we are training ourselves how to be accommodating, how to be accepting of the others. And this is the place where we learn a lot, because we all come from different backgrounds, and we all have different kind of background growing up in different environment. Therefore, you can see all different kind of people coming together and trying to do the same thing. And that is a challenge. And these are the things that we learned. We learn, how to accept, how to accommodate, others' views. And it's unlike, in the office, you give them 1 hour and make sure it is within this 1 hour, no nonsense. Everybody has to, come straight to the point, and you have to end the meeting in 1 hour. But in a Tao society, it's, our chance to learn how to actually accommodate each other's views, even though sometimes we find that, oh my God, why is it that, it's so draggy? So we must always have that joyful heart, in whatever we do in the Tao society. Then, of course, this is very important. We have to learn to repent and be grateful towards the heavenly grace. Okay, so we have to do daily self-reflection, examine our own faults, instead of blaming others. So in the past, before I actually attained a Tao, I used to be very, very sensitive. So if somebody has said something about me, that hurts, I would go back crying, and I would tell myself, okay, never mind, that is his view, it doesn't bothers me, and I will just let it pass, for maybe 2-3 weeks, then I'll replay that video again, and then, you get upset again. But when I received Tao and I start to learn in the Tao society, then it's very different. When somebody, actually try to correct me, or, has been screaming or shouting in front of me, my focus is, what is this person trying to tell me? Did I make a mistake somewhere? You see, that is the focus point. Okay, if this is a thing that I did not do it correctly, I need to rectify, I need to correct it. I have to ensure that I do not repeat that mistake again. And whatever that he says in excess of that important point is not important anymore. So it doesn't affect me. So in this way, we learned and become more and more, able, to have that big heart, to accept, and people will be more able, to establish a very good relationship with us, because we do not retaliate with them or rebound them, when they were screaming and scolding. And usually after, that very heated argument, and they look at you, you're still so calm, they will calm themselves down. And then gradually, they become much better in trying to express their unhappiness instead of, screaming and shouting. So this is very important. And we have to truly repentance. So every day, especially if I've got a family temples at home, we pray to Buddha, we seek forgiveness, because we do not know whether today, is there anything that, we say that we hurt other people. This is the daily repentance, will help us to overcome our mistakes, because then we will reflect upon ourselves. When we are repenting, we will, give a thought of, what we have done, in the previous day. Did we take advantage on people? Did we actually say anything that we hurt? So this will give us, that time, to actually calm down and reflect. So, daily repentance is very important. And always be grateful towards the heavenly grace for the blessing, bestowed upon us. We have this, we must have that very grateful heart, because if we look at, our holy teachers, our lady masters, they give up, that comfort of, being in the heaven as a Buddha, to come into these mundane worlds, to help us to understand ourselves, so that we can actually, in this lifetime, if we cultivate properly, then we can return back to heaven like them. So that takes a lot of, effort and a lot of sufferings that they go through the adversity, the challenges that they face, and the kind of determination, that they continue, to go on, even they have to face a lot of challenges until today. Then we have got this, very comfortable, I would say, as a cultivator now, we compare ourselves, to our holy masters and compare ourselves to Lao Chen and Chen Ren. We are very, very lucky. We have a very comfortable environment, and we can actually cultivate Tao very openly, without having to worry about any, test, that comes upon us, like what our holy teachers and our Lao Chen and Chen Ren face. So that we have to be very grateful. Okay. Then of course, we have to be joyful in guiding and encouraging others. You see, the work of Buddha, saints, and sages is always to benefit the fellow human beings. Hence, they are always at peace with themselves. So, as what I have shared earlier on, even when you are being scolded by people, whether they are right or wrong, or they are just being unreasonable, as long as you remain peaceful within yourself, we are able to actually help the other person, to realize that there is another way of solving problems. You need not have to be jumping your way, and that way we are helping them to slowly and guide them back to the path of this Tao cultivation, like us also, you see. And Buddha, saints, and sages are also, they are always very respectful towards others, and they always establish the good relationship with other people so as to support and guide them away from pain and sufferings. Okay, and they always support and encourage others who have the intention to do good deeds with a joyful heart. Okay, sometimes people get very jealous when they see that other people in a more comfortable position, and are able to or when they're doing something that is very charitable. We must always support and encourage them with a very joyful heart, instead of being very bitter, or say something that is very negative in what they are doing. Okay, we have to always constantly have this joy in guiding and encouraging others, especially in the Tao society. And of course, devoting one's merit to the salvation of others. Okay, for the entirety of their life, Buddha, saints, and sages will continuously contribute selflessly towards the salvation of sentient beings. We look at Lao Chen Ren and Chen Ren. Even Lao Chen Ren, when he returned back to heaven, okay, he says that I would not acknowledge all these merits that comes to me. All this merit has to remain to help those that comes after me, to help them to be able to be smooth sailing in their Tao cultivation. Okay, so they devote the merits to the salvation of others. So many of our Tao fellow seniors that I can see in our temple, even the Tao initiators, they will not consider the things that they will not take merits on what they have done for the sentient beings. They will always say that these merits are to be devoted to the fellow Tao brothers and sisters, so that they can have a very smooth journey in this Tao propagation. So they always contribute without asking. Okay, so it is said that our burdens are half when we share, right? When we share a person's burden, their burden is half. But if we share our joy, then the joy is doubled. Okay. So of course, we have to model after Bodhisattva or the Buddha, saints, and sages. You see, their great vows to save all sentient beings. Follow the compassionate and great vows of Buddha, saints, and sages in rescuing the sentient beings from the sea of sufferings. Okay, it is said that karma is like a drop of ink. It's like a drop of ink when it drops into the water. Even Buddhas cannot stop it from happening. Okay, but the vows of Buddhas, the merciful vows of the Buddhas, can help to lighten the force of the karma. Okay, so That is to say, if we, take a great vow, like what Buddha, saints, and sages did, then the karmic effects that, we brought along with us will slowly lighten and slowly reduce. Only with great Buddha vows, then we can actually, lighten our karma. But if we expect that, by praying to Buddha, asking, Buddha to bless us, to have a smooth sailing life journey, it won't happen, because Buddha is just like, we talk, for example, we talk about a judge. The judge may actually pity what happens to you, but it is something that you did and you have to face the consequences. So similarly, but the only thing that can help us to lighten is we try to repent and redeem, by doing good deeds, and then transfer the merit to our debtors. It's like you owe somebody money, you need to repay it. And how to repay it? You need to earn it. So the merit is like, you're earning that merit in order to redeem ourselves. So only with great Buddha vows, then we can lighten the force of the karmic effects. Okay. And we must always emulate our holy teacher's vows. He has this great vow in shouldering the great responsibility to elevate the sentient beings from the three realms and emulate the immense effort and perseverance in Tao propagation by our Lao Qianren and Qianren. So if we, do all this, then, the karmic, the effects that we have to take on will slowly lighten, the force of it will lighten, because our debtors will know that we are doing, and, that it's like you have got the money, there to actually repay it to them. So, we have to take that, we have to model after the Buddha, saints, and sages by having this very great merciful vow. Okay. So of course, like we have to follow the virtues of form immeasurables, like what our Qianren did. By devoting without condition is true loving kindness. By sacrificing without self-centeredness is true compassion. And fulfilling without claiming for right is true appreciative joy. So giving without asking for possession is true giving. So these are the virtues of four immeasurables that our Qianren, will constantly practice, throughout her lifetime. So we also have to learn that. Okay. So in conclusion, to cultivate is to be at peace within yourself rather than increase your burdens in life. So as cultivator, we serve as the bridge between others and the Tao community. Therefore, it is important to be careful of our behavior and try to give our best. Okay, so we represent the Tao society. So how we carry ourselves is very important. We will actually carry the image of the Tao society. So we have to be very careful with our behavior and make sure we do our best. So with that, my shallow sharing, I hope this sharing will be able to actually give you a slight glimpse of what is this cultivating of the vastness of the mind and the inner virtues. And we all learn together. So if there is anything that I have said that is inappropriate, I seek forgiveness from Buddha, saints, and sages. And I hope our fellow lecturers will cover anything that I have missed out. So with this, I wish you all success in the Tao cultivation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tao Initiator.
Tao
Initiator, sorry, before you complete it, right? The video you want me to play?
Yes, but do you still have time to play the video, the short video? Because we want to actually show you, our the youth wing, what they did during this period when is COVID-19, and they actually risked their life to help those who are staying alone, and they actually went to visit them. So if it's possible, I hope we can actually share this video to let you have a look at. This is called how to become to be selfless. Can we share the video? Thank you very much.
Can you hear the sound?
Yes. So this is a very touching video. These are our students group, or we call the youth wing. They actually went out, you know, to do this, to help the elderly people because they cannot go to the center, and then, you know, to buy food for them, to actually send them the, the sanitizer, and to teach them how to, you know, be hygienic. So this is, they are really, you know, it's a very selfless effort. So it's very touching as well. Okay, thank you very much.
Very much. Okay, number one, next exercise. Number two, thank you to initiator on. Number three, please have a seat. Yeah, congratulations everyone. Those who already received out. Yeah, one of a very precious thing is we received the three strategy, right? We always self-reflection and examining our thoughts. Right, this one will make our life become more and more brighter. Yeah, I believe on this. So keep it on, everyone. So now we will proceed to the next section. Will be discussion. So everyone, please go in and remember to come back. So after come back, I would like to tell you all next lecturer. So
那
now
经理有一起吗？经理要一起吗？讨论，我们有一个 discussion group。
方便吗？
可以，我们想说要邀请经理一起来参加。
好，可以，谢谢大家。
OK， 好，我们现在就分组，然后经理等一下你就会看到那个组，你会进到一个组里面。
Okay, everyone, please remember must go in. Okay, try to feel and discuss with your classmate. Get to know your classmate. Okay, go now. Go.
Okay.
I can learn many things. I want to thank our Serene Wang ma'am. In the speech, we have learned to self-cultivation. It's very important. I will learn. And we want to receive Tao, mean we want to cultivate and we want to learn how to spend with our life fulfilling. And we want to break the chain of birth and death, mean we want to fulfill the affinity of the Tao cultivation. And we want everyone should create the Buddha nature. I want to create myself and I want to share others also. I will learn today, sister. And the vastness of the mind I will learn, learning manners and own reflections and forgot infinities and forgiving wrong ones, recognition of the reward I will learn. And we want to return back to heaven, and our holy teachers giving many struggles they attend, and many obstacles they learn our life. We want to observe her life and we want to do more, understand more, and we want to do the good way, mean we want to face the mental suffering, what is the true nature, how we face the burdening. I will learn, sister. The ma'am's speech is very impressive. We are the cultivators. How to cultivate? What is the rule? I can understand, sister.
Yeah, is the Tao initiator on, or you may address her as Tao initiator Serene.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Tao initiator.
Yeah, we respect her. Have a heavenly mandate. Okay. Well, so
yes.
Sister Anita learned a lot. So I should have expect and waiting for you. Yeah. Congratulations, you learned a lot. Yeah.
Your students, the participants are really they all have very deep rooted affinity with Buddha, because just by listening and the way she's able to actually, I think she's even, the level of understanding is even, deeper than what we actually, delivering the topics, but judging from by listening to her sharing, you know that they are in that path of cultivation. Definitely you succeed.
Yeah,
Thank you, merciful.
she's faced some obstacle, but I believe she will pass.
Yeah,
She will pass the
definitely.
Yeah, congratulations. Guruji Ong said you no problem, so will be no problem. So next, Gautami. Gautami, you convenient to open your mic. Or maybe Gautami not so convenient. So next, Kavita. Kavita, you convenient to on your mic and share with us. Later I come back to you. Kanda Sami. I think it's a sister Kanda Sami, is it? Sister Kanda Sami. Sister Anita, the Gautami is a sister Gautami.
Yes, sister. But why they not open the mic? I don't know, sister.
Maybe internet no good, because just now brother Lachman also internet no good.
Yes,
maybe,
my network also poor, sister. That only I off the video and I talk, sister.
maybe different states. Yeah, different. Never mind. So maybe they can listen. We can invite Tao Initiator on to share with us. We got the benefit. We earn some time compared to other groups. Sister Tao Initiator on also is area service department, the person in charge of the area service department. So she's very friendly and kind. Yeah, we invite Guruji.
Thank you very much. But I'm very glad that all of you are actually, paying very much attention on this, cultivating on this vastness of the mind. And it's true that we have to observe what, the Buddha saints and sages are doing, and be following that footstep. And of course, in this lifetime, we tend to face a lot of challenges, which is our lesson that we have to learn, because when we come into this world, there are already a set of lessons that we have learned. We have to learn. So every obstacle, everything that comes, to us is actually heaven's way of, letting us learn to get something out of that. And if we actually, went past this, is already a lesson that we can learn. And like what I've shared about the Tao sisters just now, now her life is so good now because she has passed the test. That lessons, and she from her she's able to bring in many friends to receive Tao, because they can see, you see, what she did, because ordinary people will say that no, I will never forgive a man like that. So but you see, her is trying to show to us, you see, that big-heartedness, and this is what we all have, and we can do it. It's just whether we want to do it or not. We want to let go that burden of the hatreds in us, because it's always that if somebody makes a mistake, okay, that person make a mistake, but if we get upset and continuous, to be upset, we are punishing ourselves on somebody's mistake. You see, as what I told her, you have done your best as a wife, you have done your best as a mother, you have already fulfilled your responsibility. Whatever the end result, whether the husband stays with us or not, is not your responsibility, because you don't put the blame on yourself for what happened, because many times we put the blame on things like that on ourselves, and then we punish ourselves, and then we get depression, and we have a lot of stress, worries, that stays with us, which is unnecessary. So if we have got that vastness of heart, we just understand this is part of life. This is part of our life journey. And it's a lesson that we learn. And if we learn it and we are able to actually cross over it and lead a very normal life like what that sister did, then I think she already, you know, through her, you can see what is Tao. Really, because I not only from her, because this is the only time that we can share once. We have other families that has got other issues, but then after receiving Tao, and you can see the improvement in the family. So that's how great the Tao is. That's why we continue to propagate the Tao, because we know that it benefits the sentient beings, and it benefits, in order to get a very harmonious world, it's only through Tao, because Tao encompasses the entire universe. If as long as we understand, we get as close as we can to, you know, towards the Tao, means we are actually getting back to nature.
Yeah.
我们有多少时间哈？哇，你的班员都很好的嘞，actually。
还有2分钟，不学提醒。
他们都是呀，他们都很注意听哦。你看他的分享，你就知道，其实他们真的这些班员都是很好的。这是别的班吗？
经理这个阿米达那嘎拉酱，他有在学习传那个达缪的课，我们有在培训呢，有在培训，因为现在每个星期3晚上，我们这个培德班呢，就是你们的传题结束了，就是我们现在最近开始啦，有星期3晚上10点半，有针对他们几位想要学习传题的，就是我们把课题重新给他们就是重新跟他们讨论交流，然后让他们去学习认养那个题目。他是有在学讲的。Sister Anita Nagarajan have learned how to deliver the topic.
Translate.
Deliver the topic in Tamil class and Sister Kavita 是这个吗？好像有几位啦，就是他是其中一位，而且他的领悟力很强。Sister Anita Nagarajan， 他也是有在学中文，也是我们中文班的学生，中文课的学生。
可见哈，可见你们哈带得很好嘞。
没有，而且Sister Anita Nagarajan他是那个他的家是在 Country Puram， 在那个他们就是那个达摩祖师的故乡。达摩祖师。对，然后他们对佛陀的那些点滴啊，对于佛学的这些部分啊，他们都还蛮有一定的那个，而且Sister Anita Nagarajan 是 teacher， 那个学校的 school teacher。
Wow, you have a great aspiration, Sister Anita. I can see the lecturers all has got very high, you know, they have
很认真啦，他算是很认真的，里面的算 very very hardworking to learn.
Yeah, there is a lot of compliments coming on you, because all the lecturers feels that you are the future lecturer there, you know, to actually bring the topics into into Tamil language.
Yeah, Sister Anita Nagarajan also learn the topic in Xingming and Zhishan.
还有9秒钟啊。
8秒、
8秒、7秒、6秒。
Xingming and Zhishan, Xingming and Zhishan class in Tamil. She already deliver some topic.
有。
Wow, no wonder, I can see. 真的不一样啊！你看他的分享，你就不。
Yes. Okay, 我们要回去了。Okay,
let's go back.
Yeah, thank you.
Sister Kavita, don't forget submit homework. Bye bye. Go back to me.
谢谢经理慈悲啊。
我们赚到了，赚到跟经理说话。Okay, everyone is back. Okay, let me see. 全部人回来了吗？
还没，再等一下。现在，差不多了，应该是差不多，对，好，差不多回来了。
Okay, thank you everyone. So remember to submit your homework. Okay, try as many as possible. If you any doubt, you can ask Guruji Ramurugan or lecturer like brother Speaker Wilson, Sister Myra, or Maureen or me. Okay, so remember to submit your homework. So our next lesson will be by Taiwan speaker Monica Chen. The title will be on Tao cultivation from the perspective of Qing Jing Jing, the Sutra of purity and tranquility. Okay? Because we don't know what is it, so next week you must join our class. Okay?
Yes, speaker Monica come from Taiwan, and speaker responsibility in the Tao English society, Tao English community, and also she also translate many Tao Tao books, and very warm and very soft. I think speaker Monica topic very good. So you all must come next week, okay, for the theater class next Sunday.
Speaker Myra, if I am not wrong, I think Speaker Joseph relation.
Yeah. Speaker Monica is the wife of Speaker Joseph.
Yeah.
Wife. Yeah.
Okay.
林讲师, can you send me the link for next lesson? This is a very good lesson.
经理要来听吗？
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, we are very welcome. Welcome, Guruji.
Yeah.
Come again.
Initiator on your lesson is also very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, tonight very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yeah, each and every our Tao volunteers giving a good feedback about the today lesson. Easy to understand. The explanation is a very wonderful and awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Guruji, we will have the homework for the participants. So
Yeah, yes.
when they finish the homework, they will write on the Padlet on internet, and then when they finish the homework, I will keep and save in PDF file for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Speaker Myra. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Tao Initiative.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you everybody.
Thank you, Guruji, Miss Full Tao Initiative.
Thank you, initiative.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
好，谢谢讲师们，再见。
Yeah.
Before we left, right, let us bow to Buddha, Saint, and Jesus. Guys, everyone please raise right. Okay, 3 bow to Buddha, Saint, and Jesus. First bow, second bow, third bow. 1 bow to Princess Pai Sui, 1 bow to Bodhisattva Pushyashi. Once again, thank you, Tao Initiator.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you everybody.
Yeah, thank
Good
you.
day. Thank you all, Guruji. Thank you all.
Guruji.
Good
Yeah,
night.
thank you. All
Good night.
Tao brother and sister.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay. So next week we will invite Guruji on Guruji on come again. Okay, thank you, Guruji. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.